Welcome back, Mech Warriors, to the First Circuit Podcast 80,000. Tonight's topics are Mech Release Champion for Seabills and the Vapor Eagle for MC, Faction Play Weekly No Update, NWO Autism Awareness Event, Invading Planet Kaeteoa Event, Weekend Warrior Hot Drop 2, MW5 Discord, the fifth one AMA, and MW5 video from Ars Technica. All this and more tonight. And tonight, first is the Mech Release Champion for Seabills and the Vapor Eagle for the MC. Now, my own personal opinion, if you cannot wait and you have to spend MC, you got some extra MC and just kind of, want to go spend it, I would not even, I would actually recommend the Vapor Eagle for spending for MC. I know some people, can just wait that extra month, no problem. But I actually love the Vapor Eagle. It's one of the better mechs that is out there to go and use, at least my own personal opinion. And if you can't wait, if you want to go burn some MC, nothing else to spend it on. I mean, the Vapor Eagle. This is one of the things I would recommend the Vapor Eagle for that. Now the champion for Seabills, awesome. Definitely get it for Seabills. It's one of the better mechs that is out there. I loved it. It was a great mech to go use. Larsh loved it. A lot of people did. A lot of people love this mech as well. And I think both these are really, really nice mechs. Now the Incubus, you can just throw it in the trash, but that's just me. So what do you think?
All right, hello everyone. It's also me, Biter.
Oh,
You're
and
the voice in your head.
Biter and Oldbobs.
I still generally hold the opinion that if you waited this long, you should just wait another month and you can buy the Vapor Eagle for Seabills rather than the much more valuable MC. And the Vapor Eagle as well typically comes packed with like an XL330 engine, which makes it pretty pricey. 3.5k MC each one. That's quite a bit. And at least for me, I usually save my MC for when there's a big sale, so I can buy
Yeah.
heroes for 50% off. 3,000 MC, that could be a medium and a light hero mech. Is the Vapor Eagle worth a medium and a light hero mech?
I mean, the only time I would recommend, I mean, this is like the one time, because normally I'm very frugal and a cheapskate. So, there's only one time to actually say, hey, if you can't wait, if you just absolutely have to have it, yeah, the Vapor Eagle for MC, I mean, that's the only time that I'll recommend it. That's the only mech I would recommend for MC. The rest of them, just wait, the extra 30 days and you'll get it for Seabills, no problem. Do that kind of thing. And like you said, for the heroes, buy a light and a medium hero or something like that for 3,000 like MC, no problem. But this is the only time I actually recommend, or not recommend, actually, if you can't wait, go and get it and do it that way.
Yeah, though at this point, if you've been waiting, you're probably
Yeah.
prepared for waiting for a while. The thing is, the Vapor Eagle is a battle mech, so yeah, if you're spending that 3,600-ish MC, even sometimes 800 MC, which variant? What kind
Yeah.
of builds are you thinking about?
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, actually, to tell you the truth. I don't know. I usually use the two, I believe, the 2 and a 4, and those are ones I normally use that I have a lot of fun with.
Yeah, my general advice is, as I mentioned before, is usually that if you waited this long, just wait a bit more. If you are getting, we'll talk about this when the Vapor Eagle comes
Yeah.
out for sea bills, but I'm not sure. The issue with this mech is it is quite a big target. It has no survival stuff, and its arms aren't the best hard points, and they take a lot of fire, which means arm hard points get shot off quite quickly. So the Vapor Eagle 4, for example, it does have a nice mix of 7 energy and 2 missile, but all the energy are in the arms, and the arms fall off a lot quicker than you would like, which can quickly disarm you if you're only using lasers, and can leave you just with 2 missile hard points if your 7 micros or whatever gets shot off. So yeah, I'm not so well disposed towards the Vapor Eagle. I still think, in some ways, I'm quite a fan of the Stormcrow. It has much better hard points. It has much better quirks,
Hmm.
and it already goes at a decent pace. The Vapor Eagle, obviously, there's a battle mech. You can really build it to however you like, whereas the Stormcrow, you're stuck with certain slots and engines that you just can't fiddle around with. Um, yeah, I might push people towards the Vapor Eagle 1 just because it has a nice mix of all different hard points, and I
Yeah.
at least like running two ATM-12s with 4 micros and 4 machine guns on it, but that's just me. The bigger thing, though, I think, is, of course, as ever with these releases, is the champion for C-Bills.
Yes.
Um, yeah, because the champion has actually a fairly decent shape, at least for rolling damage. The arms, despite looking at how silly they are, they do actually absorb a fair amount of fire, typically from the enemy, at least if they're a little incompetent enough. And if you just turn the nose, it's a bit like the Marauder. You're able to spread damage to the different torsos fairly well, and it has armor for all of its torsos as well for
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
variants. Um, which champion, though? What champions do you think stand out, or which ones would you suggest people get?
Um, I think I use normally. I think it's a 2 in.
The champion usually sports a whole mix of different hardpoints, ballistic, missile, and energy. The issue is, in some ways, though, it is only a 60 tonner, and it can be quite tricky to actually use all of those or to make a decent enough loadout with all of them. So the champion 1N, for example, has 2 ballistic, 4 energy, and 2 missile. Um, the you're never really going to fit 2 LB10, 2 SRM6, or 4 mediums, or at least you have to give up a lot of sacrifices to do that. It's usually a lot more likely you'll do something like an LB10, 4 medium lasers, and SRM12. Of course, it should be mentioned, at least with the big AMS change of last patch, the fact that the champion often sports just 1 or 2 missile hardpoints really sucks
Yeah.
because PGI hates missile weapons, apparently. At least in the sense, when you only have a couple of missile hardpoints, you're usually predisposed towards taking larger launchers. However, larger launchers are even more susceptible to AMS right now, which means sometimes you might want to just take energy and ballistic loadouts, which the champion can do. The champion 3N, for example, can do a heavy Gorse with 6 mediums, or even just the 1N2 with a heavy Gorse and 5 mediums, which gives you a really decent pinpoint alpha strike package. And you don't have to worry about PGI ruining your missile health in the next patch, even more so.
Yeah, right now I'm on my alt account, so I don't have it on there. I have an old Bob, so. But yeah, the generally though, like the champion, I did have fun with it. I think some of the builds I did do were the LB10 with I think either medium pulse or medium lasers, and it was a pretty good build. Go ahead and use for that. Obviously with some Arctic strikes as well to go ahead and do the extra damage. I forgot what exact one I do have, but that's on old Bob though.
Yeah, so I've usually heard high praises about the champion. I personally didn't pick it up on launch, so I am mostly sort of in the dark. It does seem like it has some things going for it. It's not as heavily quirked as other IS 60 tonners, though it does have a nice shape and high hard points, and a lot of them technically can also do a zombie mode.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an okay mech. The arms are often stripped by players, but the arms are also so wide, it does have a really bad setback of often, having friendly fire
Oh
whenever
yeah.
you try and get you're part of a team's gun line. The champion is a very wide boy. He takes up a lot of space for a
He's a
60
big boy. He's a big
Yes.
boy. Yeah, I always have problems going through the city of that and going through the little corridors that they have and kind of blocking, different things going on. So people could either can shoot me or can't get by, and that's usually what I had problems with. Yeah, with the champion.
hmm Last thing to mention, as ever with new releases of mechs for C-Bills, is that all the camo schemes are 50% off right now. I think that's all the unlockable and one-shot camos.
Yeah,
No, just the unlockable patterns.
yeah. I
So
did. I did purchase some unlockables for my champion for old Bob, and I didn't get any bolt-ons though because I'm still kind of pissed that it's still only for one mech. If it's for the whole chassis, I can understand. I wouldn't mind spending money, but for one mech, it just doesn't. It's not cost effective unless you use a
yeah,
mech like all the time. It's just horrible. I just don't like that at all.
unless you're swimming in MC, it is a hard proposition.
Well,
But
even swimming in
this
like MC.
is this is one of the few times to actually reliable. Like we're not sure how consistent. At least I'm not sure how consistent sales are on bolt-ons, and having it available for all the bolt-ons for the mech available for 50% off means if you're a fan of the champion, you're picking it up and want to get bolt-ons, now is the time to spend your hard-earned MC.
Yeah, yeah, good things. Okay, so next up, I think we have is it special events? No, it's yes, never mind. We have faction play weekly no update. So yeah, they were gonna do weekly like updates of what's going on. I don't blame them. It's a lot of stuff to go deal with, a lot of stuff to deal with as far as like what they're trying to do and have it out by May for something that we're not gonna go get all pissed off at, and to not have a weekly update, which they said they will, it kind of like leaves a lot of people out in the dark. At least I think that people want to know about this kind of stuff. They want to get their units together. They want to go, yeah, we're going to go play this game now. Play some faction warfare that actually means something instead of just some stupid thing that 12 units ago. But
yeah,
yeah,
because what happened is on the front page they said faction
yeah,
play weekly report for the 22nd of March, and it's been 2 weeks since then, and we have not got another faction play weekly update. I don't think necessarily that this is something that you really needed to update us weekly on,
no,
particularly since the types of changes they're doing, it's a kind of, as I've always said, just wait and see what they actually deliver.
oh yeah,
And the updates are just going to be, oh, well, we're trying this thing and we're having some troubles. Yeah, this is the idea we have currently on our heads. And whilst it's nice to be able to communicate with the community, in some ways, just it's better to not, this is one of the times where you don't need to reveal everything that's going on behind closed doors within the company. Uh, it will be done when it's done.
well, yeah. Generally too, like when they do reveal too much, people get too much information. They don't know what's behind the scenes, what's going on, and then they kind of like complain a lot and some big controversy happens, and they stop doing it, or they might steer another direction because of that. So, I don't mind them not actually saying anything, but if they're gonna say, hey, we're doing a weekly update, actually, then you get to that week, it's like streamers. Basically, you don't stream, you miss a couple days, and you're sporadic, and people are getting home to watch you. It's hard for them to actually say, I want to be with that person or hang out with them during streaming. And so this is the same concept as far as, we're waiting for this weekly update to come up and it's not coming. It's like, okay, well, I guess, I'm gonna go do something else now, type thing. So, or I'm not gonna wait for this kind of stuff or not pay attention.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if they really had the material to actually give us to make it worthwhile covering a weekly report.
Yeah,
As it stands, though, that quote unquote weekly report was mostly just a hey, everyone, just to let you know, we are changing the order of things. Faction players being moved down the line, but we're moving maps,
yeah,
closer.
yeah.
And that was all it needed. And just calling it a weekly report sort of sets us off on a confusing foot.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, I think next we have MWO Autism Awareness Event, which has been happening for the full week, basically.
I mean,
Yeah,
people have been playing into it, but the actual event itself.
yeah, yeah. Mech Dads Unite level 1, 2, 2, and stickers and all that kind of stuff. They had that for the Autism Like Awareness Event. Then also they have the. In fact, I actually didn't get this up here. They have the Autism Awareness, which they're at right now $4,800 for autism awareness, and this is actually a really good thing that they did for the PGI doing that.
So yeah, they it's nice they're doing this kind of thing. The actual event itself was mostly just over the weekend, at least
Yeah,
in terms of in-game stuff. And what they're giving away is, you just play the game a little bit and you get, what was it, like a decal, uh, standing item.
Dadbot.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Just some cool things to have autism awareness and to have this going on. And I think it's going on for the whole week. I think to Sunday, I believe. I'm not sure, or until they get 5,000, or even past that. Not sure about that.
I mean, the actual event has already ended, even as of time of recording. Um, but sure, I mean, fundraising for autism doesn't end when Mechwarrior's event
Well, yeah,
ended.
yeah. True. But it's still a good cause for everything that goes on. So if you can, I'll leave links down below if you want to go ahead and donate to autism awareness. The next is Invading Planet Kaeteoa event. This was the April Fool's thing. Is that right?
Yeah, April 1st event. Just again a short little event over the weekend. It gave away a whole bunch of stuff, I think including the Fool's Warhorn, if I was not if I don't recall incorrectly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of fun. It was a callback to that uh, funny times of the law and people. What was it? The book that someone wrote about people going to a planet and it had bird people on it.
I
And
didn't
this
know
whole
that.
event, yeah, it's the only book in the law, time in the law where they have actually included aliens in the BattleTech setting. And it is very thoroughly at least considered non-canon, or at least a lot of I hear a lot of the time people consider it non-canon. It was kind of an interesting story, at least in the ways that it's kind of yeah, I'm probably not doing it justice, but it's kind of like a Bermuda Triangle where dropships, when they misjump, they end up on this planet. And whilst there's, often a dropship appears and it crashes on the planet, and it's a new injection of technology, of course, the planet has no connection to the galaxy outside. It has no
Oh,
infrastructure. It's all just, very rudimentary. And the book features the characters getting involved with the locals, bird people, and fighting their own little war with a very advanced piece of technology, a locust, just sweeping people away with the power of the locust.
oh god, it's like it's like the ATSTs and against the Ewoks in Star Wars.
Yeah. So yeah, because it's kind of jungly planet or something like that. So yeah, this is all callback to that. It's a good way to piss off the law nerds in the community by saying, "Hey, we're going to invade planet Kaeteoa. Does this make any sense? No, it doesn't. Collect 30 Tay feather specimens. Spot and detect 10 Tay aliens. Capture one Tay alien in conquest mode, and so on and so forth." So not only is it just like it was kind of fun, like just the corgi event last year, I think it was. This one they're doing the Tay aliens. It's a regular event mostly, just with a funny naming system,
Yeah.
and you have to try and figure out what all of these actually are. So I think like I might be wrong, but collect 30 feather specimens was destroy 30 components, for example. Spot and detect 10 aliens or something like 10 UAV detections, and so
Oh,
on and
okay.
so forth.
Yeah, they had to do something like that. They can't remodify their system to go ahead and spot some aliens or run around where they have a GM running around with and have some alien suit or something. But yeah, um, there for the lore nerds like out there like myself. Yeah, I wasn't too salty about it because I didn't know about this because I never actually read that. I guess that book. And there is aliens out there. It's just they're like birds and animals and like that kind of stuff on different planets. So
Mhm.
that kind of thing. That's the only quote.
Intelligent,
Yeah,
yeah, intelligent aliens.
intelligent like aliens. Yeah. So there are non-intelligent animals like out there on different planets, but not like aliens like UFO type people.
Yeah, and even then, the Tete, the bird people are not that advanced because they're very isolated and early on in the tech tree, so to speak. Yeah, I like this event mostly. It was a pity it was on for so short a period of time.
Yeah.
Um, Particularly since the biggest one was the first one, at least in my mind, 500 MC reward for 30 components destroyed.
Oh really?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't get that unfortunately. I just didn't have time. Time is my killer, man. But yeah, that's actually nice for 500 like MC for April Fools, and then also the major one is actually getting the Warhorn. At least I think the Warhorn is just
Oh
one of the
yeah,
best
more
ones.
Fool's Warhorns. If you haven't got one of those already, it was a great time to snap one up.
Yeah, definitely. So April 1st event. I just didn't have time to do this one to get it all done, but I got a lot of them done though, so that's I guess good. I got a Tay decal. Definitely not put that on. I'll be
Put
throwing.
them on all over your mechs just to annoy any lore people in the audience.
Actually, I'll be throwing out the Lord Nerd Society. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, decals on your lore builds. There we go. That makes sense.
Oh God, no, please, no. Triggered. Okay. I think next we have the Weekend Warrior Hot Drop 2. Did you do this one like last night?
No, I haven't played Friday.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, this is another. It's going on for a while actually. It's like 5 days or so. So it's a weekend, quote unquote, event.
Yeah.
You have about a week or so to complete it, and it's mostly just play the game, get a kill assist, get victories, KMDDs, shoot down missiles, do damage with different weapon systems. It's the usual, easy enough to get. Just play the game, and you'll usually get these kind of rewards. And each of them give a small amount of MC and C bills and a cockpit item. So it's nice,
Yeah.
nice and
Just
simple.
yeah, just something just to get some C bills and some MC. You know, if you have an alt account, like I'm probably gonna jump on my alt account later on and kind of do this one, just get some C bills and MC basically. But yeah, it's not, just play the game, have fun. That's all you gotta do. In fact, I did all this last night. You know, like when you watch the video, did this also last night, playing for about 5 hours, streaming, and it wasn't too bad. It just, I'm just like, okay, cool, I got this kicking. And it came up, I think like 2 hours like after I started streaming. So it's like 3 hours I did all this. So it's not too hard, guys, to go ahead and pop this out.
The only one I have some problem with is always but a very large number on numbers of components destroyed.
Yeah.
Um, this can be quite a grind, particularly if you aren't using it encourages you to take something like LRMs or missiles, or it just aim to shoot off arms and side torsos. Whereas if you're efficiently coring people out, it takes you 50 kills to finish it. That's a lot of kills.
Yeah, at least doesn't have the ones where you're dependent on another team to use something, and then you got to battle out with your team to go ahead and to fight to go kill that one UAV. At least you have that. So this is a good event. So that's awesome. I
There's
commend.
only the missiles shot down one, but that's easy enough to do.
I got that one game. That was easy. That was
Yep.
so easy.
Well, of course, after the changes.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, like we said, it's just play the game. You'll get this. Yeah, you get some extra stuff and free things from PGI like MC and everything, or sales that will be coming out later. So I think yeah. So a couple events going on. The Autism event's already done. Invading Kaeteoa, the Lord Nerd triggered event, and the Weekend Warrior Hot Drop is happening now for by the time this comes out, for about 2 more days. So next we have the Mechwarrior 5 Discord 5th AMA event or talk. We have this going on.
Non-event.
Non-event, yeah. It's been 2 months since they did the first general one. For this one, I think they're just talking about general things. Hopefully not talking about the drop
It's
drop
not a
velocity.
dedicated topic,
Yeah.
so yeah, you're much more free to ask them general questions.
Yeah, I don't know if we talk about the drop velocity on planet with a 6 gravity like atmosphere or something like that for bullets. I don't know if we talk about that, but yeah, just general conversations about the game itself coming out, and I think it's a good thing that they're actually getting involved in this and talking to the people who are buying their game and saying, hey, this is it. Plus, it generates a lot of buzz for the game itself too. I mean, Mechwarrior 5 is gonna be awesome. I can't wait for it. I just cannot wait.
It's the way to be more involved than just the weekly screenshots on the Discord.
Oh yeah, definitely
It
by
makes
far.
it more worthwhile to have that Discord access because I'm still not aware of a way to actually view these AMAs if you aren't part of the Discord.
Yeah, that's something that I'm kind of like wondering about. If they had, it'd be a lot easier for me to actually listen to these like in the car or something like that, or on SoundCloud or something. For the simple fact is like I don't have time to go, at specific times be here, type thing. It's like I'm doing other things. And if they had them where you could listen to them later on, even if like you had to have some special code because you bought the game, would be nice. Or I don't care. Like however we want to go ahead and do it. I just want to listen to them like not right then and there. Basically it's like watching TV back in the 70s. We couldn't change a channel type thing.
So, well, it is what it is. If you have access to the Discord, upcoming this Wednesday is another AMA. And yeah, I probably won't be tuning in like the other ones. I'm just waiting until the game comes out. Of more importance, if you have pre-ordered MechWarrior 5, at least my opinion is to make sure you put in those codes for the mechs and
On
whatnot,
time.
so that you make sure you get the pre-order bonuses and whatnot, and you don't
Yeah.
miss out.
And the right account too. Make sure you guys do that.
Yes.
Okay. Next up was actually a surprising thing. MechWarrior 5 video from Ars Technica. They pretty much they talked about a little bit about MechWarrior 5, and Jordan Weisman also talked about BattleTech and the impact that it had on the game system as a whole and the community. And I thought this was actually really really nice. I did like this whole 10-minute video or 11-minute like video. They did a good job on this. Very very good job on this. What'd you think? And they talked about the level
uh,
generator too, about how everything's kind of stacked and how like the algorithm pretty much sets that it pre-generates levels for you, so it has different things going on as far as different like environments depending what planet and what area like you're at.
so I mean, I've already been keeping track of MechWarrior 5. This video didn't provide much in the way of any new information. I would say that the video itself was very nicely produced. The video and the article itself seem to be used as they seem to be tailored towards a wider audience. The idea is obviously PGI gives access to, it has a bit of a chat with the people from the site, and the people from the site put together a nice article, talking about the game and some stuff, about the development of the game, and try and get people interested. It's a classic piece of access journalism. It's a fairly positive interaction, at least for the most part in this interaction. I didn't find, there was much new though in the text. I already, oh yes, I know about BattleTech. I know about, it was originally a tabletop, and they um, shifted the design over time, and it, it's okay. I just I felt it was a nice superficial piece.
No, I thought it was fine. I thought it was great. It talked about a little bit about how the game came to fruition as far as the PC, all the different things going on. And then also it talked about the algorithm, about different biomes on different planets and how they actually generated those with an algorithm to place the kind of like tiles depending what planet you're on. And I thought that was a cool idea. Like a cool thing. And
Well,
like I said, it's like a fluff piece basically. But that's
yeah.
fine though. Like gotta mind that.
A part of the spin that they are doing is at least, oh, the difficulties involved with procedural generation. And they're like, oh, well, we just, had it randomly make a map and randomly put you on a spot, and you would start in the middle of the enemy base. And I was like, well, that's a rudimentary mistake. You select certain
Yeah.
areas as places to not start in. This is, if you ever play something like The Binding of Isaac or any other dungeon crawling game, you don't spawn right next to the boss room. You always make it so the boss room is, at least a fair distance away, or it's always marked. You never spawn in the boss on level 1 on Binding of Isaac. That's a rudimentary mistake.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, we would uh, put enemies all over the map, and they would just rush towards the player character and all start gunning him down. Which obviously, or he would enter an area and they would all spawn or all activate and start rushing towards the player character. So as soon as they get near a base, the entire base wakes up and just bum rushes the player. Which are like, that's on some ways it sounds really amateurish, but in some ways as well, when you're just building these things, particularly for a small studio like like PGI, um, you are obviously, you can't rely on the AI team to have really sophisticated AI right out of the gate. And sometimes you just want to throw together a level and see how well the level throwing together thing works, rather than have all the systems perfectly ironed out first time. So it's nice in some ways to actually see under the hood and listen to people's experiences when game developing, because this happens all the time when you're making games, is you overlook one particular value or one thing, and all of a sudden the game is completely broken. So you might do something like, oh, I'll set this to be this will be the enemy base, and it will periodically spawn enemies. But then you accidentally set the timer. You thought you set it for 1 minute, but you set it for 1 second.
Yeah, well,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
obviously, that's a great tale to tell people, but it also makes you sound like an idiot sometimes.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of code going on, in building these things. There's a lot of stuff, and sometimes mistakes do happen, and like you'll have like the whole base just starts popping out, like vehicles, or you get stuck on mountainsides, or tanks flip over, like they did in the first one, which is like, what the hell happened to that tank, or the helicopters will go inside the buildings and just start attacking the buildings or something based off some mistake you did for some code or something. So who
Well,
knows?
that was even the case when they showed off footage of the game. If you recall, there was stuff like, where a helicopter would go upside down and just flop onto the ground. It would, take itself out of the action, or they collide into buildings and
Well,
this,
yeah,
that, and the other. The footage that they included, though, in the video is kind of interesting in a little ways. They would show mechs freaking out a lot.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's those times where you have sort of the clipping ragdoll and the body just sort of spasms all over the place, or it would break dance on the floor, and just generally the geometry absolutely fall apart. And it's like that's kind of cute. I get to see the times where the game is messing up, but in other ways, I'm like, your game engine should not be doing this.
Yeah,
But I don't know enough about the particular engine and how much that will be a problem in the future. So even though this was a fluff piece, it didn't necessarily also present the. They were also perfectly fine with showing the less polished elements of the game. It's not just a very nicely polished trailer. It actually is a lot of them talking about the troubles they've had to overcome, however general those problems were.
oh yeah, there's always gonna be some problems that they always gotta hammer out. I mean, let's put a perfect example: Fallout 76 that has major issues, and they just popped it out. And at least these guys are actually going through and saying, "Hey, this is a bug. We gotta fix this," and that's what they're trying. That's what they're trying to do. So I'm happy about that. Overall, the game's gonna be good. It's gonna be nice. They did talk about level design, which I kind of liked, like what they did, and how they actually different biomes, what you're going to, and the planets, and how the planetary system works. Basically as far as picking your planets and missions and everything. I thought it's pretty cool. I thought it was nice. Um, give it some time. Obviously this is coming out later this year, so it's more of a thing that's gonna be polished later on from the different videos we do watch right now. So to me, it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm gonna enjoy it. Nice. It's gonna be nice, man. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah. The only possible concern to do here, though, is um, uh, my question, at least in terms of game development, is if you're only so many months away, you're getting towards the last year of development. Um, you should be able to produce a fairly polished package to show off to the press, rather than talking about all the glitches and problems you've had.
Oh yeah, actually that does concern me. You brought up something nice. Yeah, right though. Like that does concern me because I'm looking at the video now. I'm like, ooh, I hope they fix that.
Now, what we can say is, we've had played the Mechwarrior 5
Yeah,
demo at MechCon, and stuff like that. There was no issues I ever saw. No one I heard talked about ragdolling issues where you destroy enemy mechs and they flip out like they've shown in this video. I think
yeah.
that's a very early stage thing, and I think, or at least I hope, it is completely sorted out. Um, Obviously, though, the interesting thing with the MechCon demo was it was a completely bespoke mission. They built that for
Yeah,
the event, um, but we haven't seen too much of how actually the procedural levels will play out.
I'm glad they actually took a year to go ahead and they were going to actually produce this in 2018 in
Mm.
December. They were planning on doing it. That's why I went to MechCon too. Was to go, yay, it's going to come out. And they did wait a year, so I am happy they did this because, like, obviously, look at some of the things that we're talking about here. They had a lot of clipping issues. They had a lot of different level designs, and they just specifically made a event just for MechCon or like a mission generator just for MechCon, and and but if they could actually flip that and then make different missions based off a random generator or something like that, I'm confident these guys will actually pop it out. They're no bio, they're no not Bioware, they're no Bethesda Studios, but these guys care. And you have the backing of HBS, you have the backing of Callous Game Labs, you have the backing of the community, pretty much, of this game, and they won't take a crappy game for they won't take a crappy
It's good.
game from them.
Yeah. It's good that the type of game they're trying to build is one that you do need time to actually generate because um, you know every time the player hops into a new level, it's almost like a new open world level. You can't obviously hand make all of those. That's a lot of
No.
work. So you
Mm-mm.
need to auto generate it. But the thing is, even if you can auto generate reasonable looking levels, the hardest thing with auto generation and the biggest challenge has always been making sure that auto-generated levels are actually fun because all you're doing is handing it off to an AI,
Yeah.
and you don't want to make the pattern too predictable where it's like I always start here, there's 3 paths to the enemy base at the opposite end of the map, and then I take one of the paths to get home. That becomes too boring and predictable, but you do need some kind of structure so that the player isn't just suddenly thrown out into the middle of a wilderness and it's just there, it's all up to them to try and make the wilderness fun. And as at least they mentioned in the video as well, you do want to make your what you built open to modding. That is actually in and of itself a fairly big commitment, or at least instead of just putting all the code into a black box and hoping it works and leaving it as that, you need to leave the black box open with at least enough levers open for people to actually use. And that in itself is a lot more work and a bit more of a commitment than just sort of cramming everything into that box and then sealing it up with sellotape.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just glad they waited, man.
So yeah, I'm glad they're taking the time, but it is still a huge undertaking to um, make this big. Lots of open world maps that you have to go into that are actually fun to play through, and also have a grander overworld economy that is fun and engaging to engage with multiple times possibly, and something that actually also changes with time with the different timelines. It doesn't break or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I'm happy. I'm good. Um, I'll be really good when it comes out, obviously. But and I can't wait actually for the mods too. Like I know Ian's gonna be modding this game, and I can't wait for that. I can't wait for him to go start popping some things out. And I'm just happy that
Slow poke.
Slowpoke, yes, it's coming. The Slowpoke is coming, and the Mackey's coming as well too. But anyways, that's yeah, the video for Ars Technica. And good, I'm happy about this. I'll leave links down below so you guys can check out the video for yourself. I'm looking at the video now, but I'll leave links down below for everyone. And that was the episode number 80,000 with our host Biter
Blarg.
and old Bob, myself. And thank you for watching, everyone, for watching the First Circuit podcast number 80,000. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the battlefield.